Okay. First, engineer on our my structure person. We have engineer that is Italians. Members of the class, we have engineer journalists. From the members, club secretary, and then chair onwards. I like the first one, I slump. So, yeah, also we have for technical work figures of the engineers. Nice. Members of the UNC. The crew representative of the engineers of the architect will enjoy your present to learn your age of the engineer must be engineer GP company special there's first of the secretariat members we have the ladder engineer planning and your student is in the priorities from the observers to the guide. Hopefully there will be five sure the preparatory. John Michael Pilot from Block Construction and Mr. Chair 60 block members present, Mr. Guru, you know, is Frederick Concurrency order. Thank you, Object. Yes, the present members, yes, this room, this will be about order. We're calling the doctor for this condition because they took the whole file of this presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Our back chairperson, Sir Almar Acevedo, members of the back, the technical working group, and the secretariat, and also to the observer. Welcome to our pre-bid conference scheduled for today. So we have 4 projects to be discussed. Okay, for today's agenda, we will be discussing basic contract data and project details, the eligibility requirements, the technical component envelope, financial component envelope, and also the format, sealing, and marking of bids, and also the different stages of procurement. So first, we have the basic contract data. These are the basic contract data of the 4 projects as you can see on the screen. So first off is the contract IDs. We have 25JZ0112. And the project name is construction of 1-story school clinics health facility at Sicayab Elementary School. Sicayab, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. Location is of course at Barangay Sicayab, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. And we have the corresponding ABC and duration of 117 calendar days. Same with on the ID 25JZ0123. We have construction of 1-story school clinic health facility at Sindangan National Agricultural School, Sindangan, Zamboanga del Norte. And it's located at Barangay Golio, Sindangan, Zamboanga del Norte, and ABC of 4,118,592 pesos and 2 centavos and duration of 140 calendar days. By contract ID number 25GC0124, prepare rehabilitation of 3 classroom at Dicayas Elementary School, Barangay Dicayas, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. Location of the contract is at Barangay Dicayas, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. ABC of 3 million and duration of 124 calendar days. And lastly, we have 25JC0125 repair, rehabilitation of 4 classrooms at Marupay Elementary School, Barangay Marupay, Dalman, Zamboanga del Norte, located at Barangay Marupay, Dalman, Zamboanga del Norte. And then the ABC is 4 million, and then the duration of 137 calendar days. Now to discuss further, architect Winnie Joy Viola will discuss the DAD and in the program of works of these 4 projects.
Thank you, Engineer Ron. Good morning, everyone. So for the plans and programs and the scope of work of these 4 projects, for 25JC0122, construction of 1-story school clinic, health facility at Sicayab Elementary School, Sicayab, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. The scope of work, this is the plan. So the scope of work, we have the complete construction of 7 by 9 meters plus corridor of 2.5, 1-story school clinic health facility with reinforced concrete gutter, PWD ramp with roofing and handrails, window grills at front and rear windows, parapet wall, toilet and hand wash at one side with roofing. So for the next project, we have 25JC0123, construction of 1-story school clinic health facility at Sindangan National Agricultural School, Sindangan, Zamboanga del Norte. This is the plan. It is a complete construction of 7 by 9 plus a corridor of 2.5 school clinic. It's just the same with the Sicayab Elementary School, but this project has a rainwater collector system at the backside. It is incorporated with rainwater collector system. So for the next project, we have 25JC0124, repair, rehabilitation of 3 classrooms at Dicayas Elementary School, Barangay Dicayas, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. The scope of work for this project is the repair of 1-story 3 classrooms, 8.1 by 18.6 meters plus 1.5 meter corridor. So this project has removal of old construction, removal of old and construction of new slab in the classroom and corridor, application of soil poisoning, new stairs, steps, and the ramp with railing, CHP wall at the corridor, additional toilet for 2 classrooms. So plan done is installation and replacement of floor and wall tiles on the toilets, installation replacement of water closet and lavatory on toilets, installation and replacement of doors and windows with window grills, installation and replacement of pre-painted roofing sheet with complete accessories, installation and replacement of reflective insulation, installation of ceiling and ceiling frame and ceiling vents, installation of fascia board and fascia board frame, fabrication and installation of new roofing, CHB wall at parapet along end walls, and repainting of exterior and interior walls. Also replacement of chalkboards, installation of wires and wiring devices with complete accessories, replacement of lighting fixtures and convenience outlets, replacement of installation and replacement of sewage lines and fixtures for each classroom, and installation and replacement of water lines for each classrooms, and also construction of septic tank and installation of downspouts and roof gutters. So for the next project, we have 25JC0125, repair and rehabilitation of 4 classrooms at Marupay Elementary School, Barangay Marupay, Dalman, Zamboanga del Norte. So we have repair of 1-story 2 classrooms, 7.9 by 16 meters plus 2 meters corridor. This is for building 1. building 1. So as you can see, this is building 1, kanang 7 by 7.9 by 16. So muna siya ang isa nga i-repair. Dayon ang second and third is building 3 and building 4. So si building 3 and building 4, same sila, 6.9 by 8 meters plus 1.5 yung corridor. So for these 4 classrooms, the scope of work is removal of old and construction of new floor slabs at classrooms and corridors, application of soil poisoning, additional toilet for 1 classroom at building 1, construction of toilets at each classroom for building 3 and 4, rectification of CHB wall for toilet areas and sink, installation of floor and wall tiles on toilet areas and sink, installation of water closet and lavatory on toilet areas, installation of doors and windows with window grills, installation and replacement of pre-painted roofing sheet with complete accessories, installation of ceiling and ceiling frame, installation of fascia board and fascia board frame, fabrication and installation of new roof framing, CHB wall parapet along end walls, and middle grate tree for rafter trusses. In building 1, CHB wall parapet along end walls for building 3 and 4, repainting of exterior walls and interior walls, replacement of chalkboards, installation of wires and wiring devices with complete accessories, installation of lighting fixtures and convenience outlets, installation and replacement of panel board with complete accessories, installation of ceiling and wall fans, installation of sewage lines and fixtures for each classrooms, and installation of water line for each classroom. Also, we also have construction of septic tank for this project. And please note that the prices of these materials were based on CMPD 2025 second quarter and CMPD special issuance. It is also incorporated with howling, and the equipment rental rates are based on ASAL Guidebook 27th edition and labor based on June 2025 rates in DPWH Region 9 Zamboanga Peninsula. And we have the 12% VAT has been applied already for these projects. So that's all for the plans and program and scope of work for this project. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you, Architect Winnie, for discussing the details, project details. Now to proceed, let me call on Engineer Christine L. Carion to discuss the technical component of the bid and the eligibility requirements.
So let me proceed with the discussion of the eligibility requirements. Registration in the Civil Works Application, or CWA. Contractors who wish to participate in this bidding are encouraged to enroll in the DPWH Civil Works Application, or CWA, at the DPWH Procurement Service, 5th floor, DPWH Building, Bonifacio Drive, Port Area, Manila, while those already enrolled shall keep their records current and updated. The contractor's eligibility to bid on the project will be determined using the DPWH contractor profile eligibility process and subject to further post-qualification. Although prior registration of bidders with the CWA is not a prerequisite for the submission of bids for specific contracts, the DPWH encourages contractors to submit these documents to the procurement service as early as possible, even without reference to any specific contracts. This will greatly facilitate the bidding process, particularly the eligibility check and the management of the CWA database. All contractors wanting to enroll in the CWA shall submit not later than the deadline for the submission of bids or simultaneously with the submission of its bid for the contract, the duly accomplished contractor's confidential application statement for inclusion, together with all the required documents enumerated in the list of annexes of CCASI. The contractor's confidential application statement for inclusion form can be downloaded from the DPWH official website. Additional information on registration can be obtained from the procurement service during working weekdays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. or the DPWH website www.dpwh.gov.ph. So these are the PCAB license requirements for the subject contract IDs for today's pre-bid conference, which are the 25JC0122, 25JC0123, 25JC0124, and 25JC0125. So the next topic is the technical component envelope. The contents of the technical components envelope are as follows. First is the valid and updated field shop's certificate of registration, platinum membership in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR of RA 12009. For joint ventures, each partner of the joint venture shall submit their respective field job certificates of registration in accordance with Section 20.2.9.1. Second is the special pickup license in case of joint ventures and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. The third is the statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or the SLCC, similar to the procurement project within 10 years from submission of the bid using the prescribed form. The following supporting documents shall be submitted together with the prescribed form. First is the certificate of completion or final inspection report, CPS final rating of at least satisfactory, if applicable, certificate of final acceptance, NOAA and NTP, contract agreements with copy of scope of work and contract costs and approved BOQ, joint venture agreement stating percent participation for joint ventures. To be eligible to bid for the contract, a bidder or contractor must have undertaken a single largest completed contract complying with the following cost and similarity criteria. First, cost criteria. The contract should at least cost 50% of the approved budget of contract, adjusted to current prices using the Philippine Statistics Authority consumer price indices. Second, the similarity criteria. To be considered similar, the contract must contain a category of work which is the same as or similar to the major category of works of a contract to be bid, costing at least 40% of the total cost of SLCC, or a category of work which is the same as or similar to the major category of works of a contract to be bid, costing at least equal to the same. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience on the contract to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of their registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the PCAB. So this table shows the major and similar categories of works for 25JZ0122 and 25JZ0123. So you may now see the category of work code, the work description, the similar category of work code, and the similar category of work description. The next, likewise, the table shows the major and similar categories of works for 25JZ0124 and 25JC0125. The next content of the technical documents is the statement of the bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid using the prescribed form, which also be submitted together with the following documents: the latest percent statement of works accomplished, or the SWA, and the percent time elapsed contract agreement with copy of scope of works and contract cost and BOQ, the NOAA and NTP, and for joint venture, you may attach joint venture agreement stating percent participation. The fifth document to be attached is the net financial contracting capacity, or the NFCC, computation in accordance with ITB Clause 5.6. The computation of the bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, and as calculated as follows: current assets minus current liabilities times 15, minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. The values of the bidder's current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest audited financial statements submitted to the BIR, which is also reflected in the PhilJEP's PhilJEP's registration certificate. During bid opening, the contractor's NFCC will be determined using the using the DPWH contractor profile eligibility process and subject to further post-qualification. If applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement is in accordance with RA number 4566, or the contractor's license law and its IRR. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit their respective PhilJEP certificates of registration in accordance with Section 20.2.9.1 of the IRR of RA 12009. The submission of technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitutes compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit the NFCC shall likewise submit the statement of all its ongoing contracts. Seventh document is the original copy of bid security. The bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following: the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cashier's amount, or if it is in manager's check, the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is in bank guarantee, in bank draft, or in guarantee, if it is in a irrevocable letter of credit, and if it is a surety bond. The eighth document to be inserted to the technical documents is the project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to be bid using the prescribed format. The organizational chart is intended to be used by the bidder is to execute the project the contract is awarded to it. Shall indicate in the chart the names of the key personnel required in the bid data sheet clause 12.1 HII and H2 and special conditions of the contract clause 6.5. Another document is the list of contractors' key personnel to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data using the prescribed form. This personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set and qualifications in the BDS clause 12.1H2. The following supporting documents shall be submitted per personnel: the curriculum vitae per personnel with experience data, notarized affidavits of commitment to work per personnel, photocopy of valid PRC license, and photocopy of valid certificate of accreditation and training. So this table shows the required minimum years of experience and the minimum years of total experience of the key personnel to be assigned to the contract to be bid. Please take note the limits of assignment of accredited contractors or consultants project engineer per Department Order number 169 series of 2025. For provisional project engineer, the limits of assignment is at least 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, each costing not more than 100 million but with an aggregate cost of 500 million. And for PI1, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, each costing not more than 150 million but with an aggregate cost of 1 billion. And this shows also the limits of assignment for ME1 and ME2. A copy of PRC and Certificate of Accreditation shall be attached in the bidding documents for project engineer and materials engineer. Safety officer must have undergone mandatory 40-hour basic construction occupational safety and health training from DOLE or any DOLE accredited training organizations. A copy of the said training certificate shall be attached to the bidding documents. Pursuant to Item 6 of the Department Order number 9 series of 2012, if a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded a contract, and if he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded a contract under bidding. No personnel shall be assigned to more than one key positions. The list of contractors' major construction and materials testing equipment units, which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements using the prescribed form DPWH Infra 15. The following supporting documents shall also be submitted. For owned equipment, copies of sales invoices, deed of sale, certificate of ownership, and or registration certificates from LTO. And for leased equipment, you shall attach the certifications from the lessor that the equipment units shall be available for the contract once awarded. And for equipment under purchase agreements, certifications from the vendors that the equipment unit shall be available for the contract once awarded. For the minimum materials testing equipment, please refer to Department Order number 11 series of 2017 or the inclusion of the minimum materials testing equipment in the technical component of the bidding. The minimum testing equipment requirement shall be on a per contractor basis and not on a per project basis. Example, the equipment may be used to service several ongoing projects of the bidder. So the following shows the minimum major construction equipment for contract ID 25JC0122 and 25JC0123. It also shows the capacity and the number of units required. This table shows the minimum major construction equipment for 25JC0124 and 25JC0125. Original copy of Omnibus Sworn Statement in accordance with Section 54.3 of the IRR of RA 12009 shall also be attached to the technical documents with the additional document such as for corporation, partnership, or cooperative. You shall submit original notarized secretary's certificate. And for joint venture, you will attach original special power of attorney for all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the omnibus sworn statement and do acts to represent the bidder. Next is the beneficial ownership information. In compliance with Section 82 of the Implementing Rules and Regulations of RA 12009, otherwise known as the New Government Procurement Act, all bidders are required to submit the following documents as part of the project requirements. The first is the latest general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC for corporations, and sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership required for all bidders, including sole proprietorships, following the template attached as Annex A of the memorandum dated November 19, 2025, issued by the Secretary of DPWH, Honorable Vivencio B. Dizon, with the subject directing to require submission of general information sheet reflecting beneficial ownership information and sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership as part of the bidding documents. The last document to be attached is the ISO 9001-2015 certification for contractors with pickup size range of medium A, medium B, large A, and large B. In compliance to Department Order Number 31 Series of 2007 and Department Order Number 110 Series of 2024, all contractors with pickup size range of medium A, medium B, large A, and large B are required to submit ISO 9001-2015 certification as part of the project requirements of the bidding documents for infrastructure projects. That would be all, Mr. Chair. The next topic will be the financial component of the bid and format, signing, sealing, and marking of bids, which will be discussed by Ms. Rochelle Garzola.
Sige, good morning everyone. I will be discussing the financial component envelope. So for the first component, we are requiring the original financial bid form, which will be signed on each page and every page of the bid form, including the bill of quantities, and shall be ground for the rejection of the bid. For this comfort, it shall be signed if the person is writing it by handwritten, and also all taxes reflected in the detailed estimate in item E of the bid form. Okay. So next is the bill of quantities. For the bill of quantities, the BOQ for each part of the contract using the prescribed form. Bid price summary of all parts and contract using the prescribed form. In the BOQ, the bidder shall not change the entries under pay item description, unit,
and quantity which are set by the procuring entity. Also, subtotal will be indicated in each page of the BOQ, and failure to sign each page of the BOQ and bid of summary shall be ground for rejection of the bid. Next, for the detailed estimate, it shall include a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. Also, all bidders shall be required to include all taxes, such as but not limited to VAT, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Next, also, is a cash flow by quarter using the prescribed DPWH form and shall be based on the duration of the procurement contract. So let us proceed to the format, sealing, and marking of the bids. So each bidder shall submit their bids through their duly authorized representative using the appropriate forms provided in the Section 9 Philippine Bidding Documents Related Form on or before the deadline specified in the ITB. Using two separate sealed envelopes which shall be submitted simultaneously, whether through manual or online submission. So the first shall contain the technical envelope of the bid, including the eligibility requirement, and the second shall contain the financial component of the bid. So form as mentioned in ITB Clause 17.1 must be completed without any alterations to their format. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the BOQ under Section 9 thereof, shall be signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Failure to do so, as mentioned earlier, shall be a ground for rejection of the bid. Next, any insertion, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. And also, bids shall be printed in A4 size paper and binded, and each document shall be properly tabbed. Also, all bidders shall enclose their technical documents in one sealed envelope marked technical component and financial component in another sealed envelope marked financial component, sealing them all in an outer envelope marked bid. The original copy of the bid as indicated in the bid shall be typed or written in the ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. Bids shall be received by the bank on the date, time, and place specified in the invitation to bid paragraph. Also, bids submitted after the deadline shall not be accepted by the bank. So all envelopes should contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters, bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters, addressed to the procuring entity's bank in accordance with ITB Clause 18.1, bear the specific identification of this bidding process indicated in the ITB Clause 1.1, and also bear the warning, all in bold letters, do not open before the date and time for the opening of bids in accordance with the ITB Clause 19. So also, for manually submitted bid documents that are not properly sealed and marked as required by the bidding documents, the same shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. On the other hand, unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes or bids that cannot be opened or corrupted in case of online submission shall be rejected. The bank shall assume no responsibility or for misplaced or lost contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid for its premature opening. Also, aside from the original copy, the procuring entity shall also require additional 2 copies of the technical and financial component of its bid. So that would be all for the financial and format signing, sealing, and marking of the bid. Next topic will be the standard bidding procedures for procurement of infrastructure projects to be discussed by Ms. Jinky L. Cano. Thank you.
Morning. Standard bidding procedures for procurement of infrastructure projects. The BAC shall open the first bid envelopes in public immediately after the deadline of the submission and receipt of opening a first bid envelope. The BAC shall check the presence or absence of the submitted documents as discussed earlier of each bidder against a checklist of required documents to ascertain if they are all present using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion. Next is the opening of the second bid envelope. Only second envelopes of bidders whose first envelope was rated pass will be opened. Bids with missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient and or total bid price exceeding ABC shall be rated fail. And ranking, only bids whose both envelopes were rated pass shall be considered for evaluation and comparison. Next is the detailed evaluation of bids. Completeness of bids. Partial bid is not allowed. Thus, bids not providing all of the required items in the bill of quantities shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. Where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, it shall be also considered as non-responsive. Specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government. Arithmetical calculation. The BAC will be checking for computational errors to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. The ABC shall be the upper limit or ceiling of acceptable bid prices. If a bid price as evaluated and calculated is higher than the ABC, the bidder submitting the same shall be automatically disqualified. There shall be no lower limit or floor on the amount of award. Bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes such as but not limited to value-added tax, income tax, local taxes and other fiscal levies, and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. In case of discrepancies, bid price in figures versus bid price in words, so bid price in words shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the item times quantity of that item, this will prevail. And the stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items, the actual sum of prices of component items prevail. In case of the discrepancies in the unit cost in the detailed estimates versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities, the unit cost in the BOQ shall prevail. And for copies versus original, surely the original will prevail. After the detailed evaluation, the bid shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices to identify the lowest calculated bid. The bidder with the LCB, lowest calculated bid, shall be then undergo post-qualification. Next is the post-qualification. The purpose of post-qualification is to determine whether the bidder with the LCB complies with and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Procedure. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the Class A eligibility documents supporting the FELGEP's certificate of registration and membership, and all other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria. Within 5 calendar days from receipt of the notice of the BAC, the following must be submitted by the bidder undergoing post-qualification. Number 1 is the registration certificate, DTI, SEC, or CDA. Two is mayor's or business permit or its equivalent document, tax clearance, the PCAB license, contractor's registration certificate, the audited financial statement, and the latest income and business tax returns. The following criteria shall be also considered during post-qualification. One is the legal requirements. The bank will verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and also verifies that the bidder is not included in any blacklist. Is not included in any blacklist. Technical requirement. Verification and validation of the bidder's statement, competence, and experience. Verification of the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project, and the availability and commitment under inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of the major construction equipment and material testing equipment. Post-qualification is to check the performance of the bidder in its ongoing government and private contracts. If any of these ongoing contracts shows the following deficiencies due to contractor's fault or negligence, the bank shall disqualify. Number 1, negative slippage of at least 15% in any project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each 2 or more contracts. Second is failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Third is the failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. The fourth one, substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. Post-qualification is to ascertain of the authenticity of the bid security and its correctness as to type, amount, form and wording, and validity period as required in the bidding documents. The third one is the financial requirements. It is to verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder and, whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. If the bank determines that the bidder with the lowest calculated bid passes all the criteria for post-qualification, it shall declare the said bid as the lowest calculated responsive and recommend to the hope that the award of contract to the said. If, however, the bank determines that the bidder with the lowest calculated bid fails the criteria for post-qua, it shall immediately notify the said bidder in writing of its disqualification and the grounds for it. Immediately after the bank has notified the first bidder of its post-disqualification and notwithstanding any pending request for reconsideration thereof, the bank shall initiate and complete the same post-qualification process on the bidder with the second LCB. If the second bidder passes the post-qualification and provided that the request for reconsideration of the first bidder has been denied, the second bidder shall be post-qualified as the bidder with the LCRB. And if the second bidder, however, fails the post-qualification, the procedure for post-qualification shall be repeated for the bidder with the next lowest LCB and so on until the LCRB is determined for award.
After the BAC determines the bidder with the LCRB or SCRB, they shall recommend to the HOPE the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB or SCRB. In case of approval, the HOPE shall immediately issue the NOA to the bidder with the LCRB or SCRB. After 10 calendar days with the receipt of the winning bidder of the NOA, the following conditions shall be complied before the contract may be awarded. Submission of the following documents. First, the construction schedule. We have the PDM, bar chart with S-curve and cash flow. Second is the equipment utilization schedule. Third is the manpower utilization schedule and the construction methods. Construction Safety and Health Program approved by the DPWH and duly concurred by DOLE. Certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and cleanable tax liabilities to the government, the contractor's all-risk assurance, and integrity pledge in accordance with DO 86 Series 2013. Next is the posting of performance security. Accordance with Section 39 of 2016. Posting of performance security. Next is the signing of the contract. If the bidder fails to meet these conditions, they will be subject for disqualification and their bid security will be forfeited. Within 7 calendar days from the date of approval of contract, the procuring entity shall issue NTP together with a copy of approved contract to the successful bidder. The date of receipt of the successful bidder of the NTP shall be the date of effectivity of the contract and the start date of the project.
Thank you, Engineer Jenky, for the discussion of the last agenda, which is the procedure on the different procurement stages. So proceed with the questions and clarification of the leaders. I will now turn over the floor to Vice Chairperson, Engineer Aliana.
As it's completed the presentation of the viewing documents. And then once again, thank you to all our presenters for such valuable discussion. So the floor is now open for verification questions and queries, especially to our leaders. Is there any question?
Good morning also. Regarding itong sa kuwan ba, itong sa Dicayas, sa kitong location nato rin.
Dicayas.
There's
Dicayas Elementary School.
yes, naka-raise siya o July.
Nakuha na sa tibali na elevate ko na siya.
So, i-elevate yun siya o ito plate process. Ngayon,
What if ang kuwan na lang, okay, kuwan mo ko na siya. Na siya itong existing ito.
3.5 meters,
Bilang
0.5.
Ang itong yung existing ito nga beam sa may karanayan.
Ano lang siya, sir, ang
As is na beam sa may.
yes, sir, bali, ang
Is na to,
yan ang flooring na gupon. I-replace ang flooring.
ilipit lang. Itong existing niya beam sa ma'am, murag kita na gyapon na siya. As is na gyapon na siya.
Ang i-replace ko sa taas kay ang roofing lang, ayan process of ang roofing.
So ang yang elevation sa iyang muling sa pagdilit.
Wala na ako.
So bibali akong pin, lagi may ibasang ako.
Oo. Ang flooring
Hindi
ko,
ba siya mabubus kayo?
dili sir ay, kuwan na siya, na siya ay, pagkuhan pagyabot niya ang, bali, dahil mo na lang siyang 3 meters minus 0.5. So, 2.7 paghihapon. Ay, 2.5 di ay. 2.5 talaga.
So raray, dili ra siya yung verify.
Hindi na siya sir kay mga bata lang po ang kuhan. Kaya nasaka lang po itong iya ang windows kay maubos naman siya kaayo so iusot ang iyang windows po.
Ito ang programang yun. Like,
Sige, sa yung other matters.
Basically, Madam Vice Chair, no? I would like to clarify, basin wala kayo na siya naklaro sa, kung ano, sa bidder nga, paano biya, ang ISO na to kasi application. Kung small, medium A mo or medium A pataas sa certification. Okay, sa lagi mo wala ang guna siya. So, karon man gud katong nga DEO, starting 2026, ang medium A pataas na na ISO certification. So, sa niagi, kung ano mo ito yung require. Medium B pa man to, karon medium A na yun siya. So, ito lang medium. So, make sure na namoy ISO certification. 9,050. 9,001. 2015 or mga or kuan ba equivalent nga ka sa kuan sa ganang replacement na lang certification.
specific, chair, regards to schedule.
And also with regards to DO the project engineer is now required to be a DPWH rated project engineer. It's either provisional, since these dailies of these projects are below 5 million, or at least P1. So, pwede rin ako provisional. But make sure na dilitid mo lapat sa nails sa patay. Then up to 10 projects, then it also, mas once I make it, kung yun, no? Limit of the break. Kung inito, mga tamarag siya. Take regard na may tulog na ako. So, bumay lang siya.
So, so we may call to our secretary to have the date for submission and opening of bids. The next 4 questions.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you for the leaders, the submission and bids, as well as the opening and preliminary examinations of bids. It shall be on February 23, 2026, 10:15 in the morning. Here, procurement office. So, we're going to the second decision to the office and the Dipolog city. That's it.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair, I move to close the distribute proceedings. So, please move, so this review is officially adjourned. Thank you everyone for your presence and for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.